Hey, it's Jerrod Niemann. My new album is called This Ride. My new single is called I Got This. And you are watching my iHeartRadio Ask Anything chat for the Bobby Bones Show. So I want to thank my buddy Bobby Bones for having me today and for all of you for sending in these questions. I don't know what's going on in here, but it's going to get interesting. So let's start with Ray Lynn from Hendersonville. What's the most comfortable boots you own? I got to tell you, Ray Lynn, my first pair of Lucchese's were snakeskin, and I've worn them down to the nub so many times. I've had them resoled over and over and over that they hardly even look like snakeskin anymore. And now I have two big old holes in the soles, and the guy that resoles them for me told me that they're just no good. That he doesn't have anything to actually connect the sole to anymore. So I may just have to retire them. But it's a bummer. But it's hard to beat a good pair of boots. Sandy from Rochester. Will you ever write a book? Oh man, I'd love to write a book, but I don't know what I'd love to tell my story someday. I hate to incriminate all my buddies, so that's probably why I haven't written a book. But there's a lot to, you get to see some pretty cool things. Getting to travel this amazing country or world really. To play music. There's obviously some really great things out there, cool stories, and so I hope I get that opportunity. I'd love to do that. Jen from Rhode Island. What do you like to do on your off days? We usually write songs or get in the studio, or I hang out at home with all my crazy dogs and my lovely wife, of course. So it's really not much different than when we're at a show. There's just music involved one way or the other. But there's nothing like also taking home on the road. So sometimes I get my wife to go with me. Sherry from Winston-Salem. How did you pick Winter Wonderland to record? Well, there's not really a great reason. It's just been one of my favorite Christmas songs. I've always loved the chord progression and the different versions everybody's recorded over the years. So when I had a chance, they said, hey, record one song. I thought, well, can't go wrong with Winter Wonderland. And I do think there's more sentimental songs out there and stuff, but I just always find that one stuck in my head from time to time, even throughout the year. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to record it. Liz from Cedar Rapids. Are you ticklish? If so, where most? Oh my goodness. Can't tell you all my secrets. No, I don't know anymore. I feel like maybe my rib cages are a little ticklish. When I was a kid, it was always my neck. And my aunts and uncles, they come up. Everybody always wants to tickle the little kids, so it was my neck area. But now I feel like my ribs and probably the bottom of my feet. So I think those are kind of traditional places for people to be ticklish. Ashley from Memphis. What are your pre-show rituals? Oh, mercy. Well, when you're on the bus, it's not only your home, but it's home to a lot of other people. And so, you kind of do find some rituals. So me and the guys, we usually say a toast right before we go on stage. And just to kind of get ramped up, we also listen to some jams. I love listening to Dwight Yoakam, Gary Stewart, Buck Owens, kind of go back and forth to stuff, but you got to have the jams before the show for sure. Carla from Norfolk. Notice I said it correctly, Norfolk. Have you met Mike Curb yet? And yes, I have. I've been in Nashville a long time. I've never seen him around. He definitely isn't the easiest man it seems like to encounter. So when I had the opportunity to go visit with him about moving over to Curb Records, it was really cool. He's such a fascinating guy, and he's accomplished so many cool things. And if everybody out there is not real familiar with all the cool stuff Mike Curb has done, look it up. You're gonna be blown away. But really, really cool to get to hang with him. Noah from Columbus. I got this. Thank you, my friend. Is that a phrase you use all the time? Oddly enough, I'm sure I've said it, but what's funny is, so growing up, my dad would always get on us for using the word got instead of have. So when I found this song and decided I wanted to record it, I thought my dad would hate it because of the grammatical error, but instead he digs it and tells me he listens to it all the time. So it got approved by my old man, so it's all good. But I don't know. I probably do use it, but it's definitely not my theme or my motto or anything yet. Gina from Louisville. When you're walking and see money on the ground, how much does it need to be before you stop and pick it up? Well, we all know if it's a lucky penny, it's heads up, right? And then isn't it tails the bad luck? So I would say 1 penny if it's good luck. If it's on tails, I might leave it. But I do remember one time. It's weird how things fall into your lap, and then the bigger picture is apparent shortly after. Like when I was coming back to my hometown from college, I found a $100 bill outside of a gas station, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, man, I got gas money back to college. And about that time, this car pulls up next to me, and there's a guy, his lovely lady, and basically a newborn. And he was trying to sell a homemade album that he had just made, and I had just made a homemade album. So I said, man, I got an album too. And he goes, well, I'll just trade you. And he was selling his for 10. So the fact that he wasn't trying to hustle me, the fact that he wanted just to trade our albums, meant it showed me that money wasn't for me, it was for him, and I knew that I was supposed to give it to him. So I said, hey, I found this, and I think you were supposed to find it. So, from a lucky penny to a $100 bill, it just depends on the scenario, but anybody that walks by money needs to pick it up. It's money. Gee.